because they're in the mood for something else. I mean, I myself could live off my soup for the next year. It's just the way it is.
Well, up here in northern New Jersey, I mean, we don't get a lot of snow, but we do get snow. And boy, oh boy, when they predict snow the day before, you go to the supermarket and people are buying milk, buying bread, and they're buying
Oh,
all of this stuff. And snow is like a,
snow?
obviously a very temporary event. Say, well, hell, if people
By
literally
the way,
didn't eat for 2 days,
by the
they
way, pal, they're playing your song. I've got to get the good doctor on. I will call you back probably a little later. I'm going to bring you back on the show for a couple of things if you're around. Thank you, Vince.
okay, later, Bob.
Vince Russo, everybody. And we got another guest coming in, a very fine doctor. So we want to get to this. And I have to be sure that I've got the right person. So let me go straight to it. Oh, I got all kinds of people. Good morning. You're on Radio Westchester. Who am I speaking with? I didn't get a chance to screen this.
Hi, this is Sean Spurdy.
Hi, doctor. How are you?
I'm
Doctor,
good.
thank you very much for being with us today. Could you share with us where you work and what your title is, please?
Sure. I'm a primary care doctor in Washington, D.C., in a small private practice.
Right, but you are a very accomplished doctor, went to some great schools. And, doctor, you may have heard us with the person whom we just moved quickly to get you on. I went overtime, which is why I went straight to you, so my apologies for not screening. Doctor, what we're trying to do here in Radio Westchester, which is literally at the train station in the belly of the beast in New Rochelle, and we're fine, and most people in the city are fine in great numbers. We're trying at once to share with everybody what the top stories are and what the news is, the president's speech last night, at the same time that we keep it on an even keel. And it's not easy to do. As a doctor, first off, how do you see this virus in the whole, and what are you most worried about?
Um, so I think the concerns from our standpoint are that, first of all, there's very little knowledge about how the virus is transmitted. Um, we seem to have decided that we're not going to do any community surveillance, so we don't really know how many people have it in the community, um, which is, on the one hand, probably reassuring that many people have it and are not having a lot of symptoms. Um, and it definitely seems like the personal risk to individual patients is low. But once someone has it, their individual risk obviously is 100%, and we don't have any treatment.
Now, doctor, if someone gets it, I made an assumption before that I knew you would clear up when you came on. If I should get it, will I therefore afterwards be immune to that particular virus?
I don't think we know that yet. There have been suggestions that there are some people in China who got it twice over this period of time. I mean, we think the cases in China started in December, but I think there's some controversy about whether the reporting was accurate from China initially.
Now, Doctor, and we're talking with Dr. Sean Spurney here on Radio Westchester, an internist, but very familiar with these kinds of things. The way we've inferred it here, and to the best of our research and watching and listening and talking to other doctors, is the biggest concern is the subset of people. In other words, that small percentage of a body of 100% who are aged, vulnerable, have pre existing conditions, may have a compromised immune system. That at the end of the day, will the numbers who contract the virus be so great that that subset, we won't have enough respirators and medical and hospital beds and so forth to treat them? Is that the ultimate greatest fear, the way that's what's being explained to us here in the public?
My understanding is that yes, that is a concern, and apparently, in speaking to hospital colleagues, that's been a concern for a long time. Um, at this point, there haven't been any reported shortages of access to critical care. So I certainly don't think that the public should worry about that. But theoretically, that that is a concern, um, that we won't have enough equipment,
Now,
and it's
go ahead.
straining lots of resources.
Now, let's if someone walked into your office right now and they were presenting with the typical flu or heavy cold symptoms, what are you required to do now? At what point do you call for that test? Do you have to report it to anyone? And then what is your advice to that patient?
Right. So we're currently asking people not to come in if they have a fever and cough. Um, and we've sent messages out to the patients and have obviously been fielding a surge in phone calls to the office related to those questions. The official guidelines in Washington D.C. as they are in New York are that we would test that person for flu and strep, and if those tests were negative and we had continued concerns about coronavirus, we would call the Department of Health and they would advise us where to send that patient.
No, doctor, we keep hearing that many people will get the virus and not even know they have it and not present with any symptoms at all, maybe just a slight runny nose. How is that? Why do we know why that is, or it's just that person's particular immune system?
I don't think we know exactly why that is. There does seem to be a spectrum of reaction, and in all the data that's being studied from the largest number of cases, which are currently in China, as everyone knows, the again, the population that seems to be at the most risk is older patients, and specifically older patients with chronic illness, meaning heart disease, lung disease, diabetes, and other immunosuppressive conditions.
We're talking with Dr. Sean Spurney here on Radio Westchester, the radio station at the train station. Doctor, as you heard, we're kind of unique in that we're the Good Morning America of radio. We're at the one of the busiest train stations in Westchester County in the city. That is the most recognized in the United States, perhaps other than Washington State and Seattle, et cetera, for the virus. We have, in fact, when they called out the National Guard, it absolutely had an unintended effect. People think we're under siege, and it's just not true. They're just bodies to deliver food.
Right.
But at the end of the day, the train station is like a ghost town. People are not going to work. And it leads me to think, especially here, experiencing it in the middle of it, at what point do we say, okay, you can start going to work today? When is a virus even considered under control?
Right. So that, I think, is the goal of all of these restrictions. And although they are alarming and causing tremendous anxiety in the community, the general idea is that if you prevent contact between people in communities that have cases, which I think at this point we can be fairly certain that's going to be the whole country. But if you can prevent contact, then the virus will die because it won't have any hosts. So, and the lessons from this come somewhat from SARS, which happened in the early 2000s and did not happen in the United States, but was confined to countries in East Asia and Toronto, Canada, because of an index case. So in that case, there were strict confinements of communities, which worked. The virus went away. So I think it feels alarmist, and it's definitely an economic strain on people to keep people confined, and I definitely don't have the answers to that, nor any expertise to even opine on it.
No, I think most people don't. But you know, one of the you probably heard the comments by Angela Merkel, the from Germany, the chancellor, saying that she felt that at least her experts were telling her that by the end of this, probably 80% of the population will have had the disease. And does it mean that it needs to work through, now that it's a pandemic, quote unquote, does it mean that it needs to work through an entire population? Not that everybody gets it, but everybody who will get it, kind of thing.
That's what we're reading. And again, I don't have public health background, so nobody listening to this show should think that what I'm saying
Understood.
about any public health
Right.
topics are expertise. But that seems to be what our colleagues in public health are saying is that because the entire population is has never been exposed to this virus, that it may be that it needs to work its way through, and it may be a virus that stays with us long term
like the
and
flu or
that has
something. Yeah, yeah.
seasonal outbreaks.
Now, doctor, let's get to what obviously you will be and your colleagues are dealing with now on a day-to-day basis. In fact, I imagine there are people listening to this broadcast saying, "Hey, wait a minute, Bob, don't down state this too much. I'm suffering here." Someone who gets it knows that they have it. They're staying in the house for the next 2 weeks. They don't require a hospitalization, but nonetheless, what should they be doing to manage this, to manage their symptoms?
From everything we understand, it would be just the same supportive care as we would do for any other viral respiratory illness. So, rest, fluids, taking over the counter medications as needed for symptoms like congestion, pain, fever. And the patients who we are advising to go to the hospital are patients who feel that they are getting weak enough that they can't keep up with fluid intake or feel short of breath from
Okay.
respiratory symptoms.
Now, there are people, and I know this is always a sticky wicket because, as we all know, antibiotics cannot help viruses. But many people develop pneumonia, and then they develop the classic. I know I used to be prone to this. Whenever I got bronchitis, I was always a step away from from pneumonia that was bacterial in nature. How do people know if it's moved to that stage?
So people should be in contact with their primary care doctor. And we've been trying to assess over the phone um, whether or not people sound like they might have the flu. We actually have a lot of flu A cases right now
Sure.
in our patient population. And so many of the people who are calling in with fever and respiratory symptoms actually just have the flu, and we treat them and they get better. It's not difficult over the phone for a physician to sort of try and assess whether or not someone might have typical symptoms of pneumonia. And in many cases, it may be worth a trial of antibiotics. But that really has to be on a case by case basis. And we certainly would not advocate patients hoarding medications or keeping antibiotics on hand just in case.
Well, of course. And again, we're in our closing moments with Dr. Sean Spurney. Doctor, what do you fear the most? And then what is your optimism, if any, about what's going on?
So I think the fear is that in addition to an actual real surge on the healthcare system, that there will be additional community panic, which will lead to behaviors that some of which we're seeing now. I don't know if in New Rochelle this is a phenomenon, but in Washington, D.C., you can't buy toilet paper anywhere.
Wow, no,
Because
this is true. I can't figure out
people,
why that's been so huge.
it's not related to the illness, but I think it's just a general human panic that we'll all be locked in our homes. And I would really encourage people not to panic in that way. The things that are going to be restricted are currently being restricted that we're seeing with audiences at large gatherings, the various sports tournaments and professional sports games that are being restricted, and campus activities that are being changed to online instruction.
Doctor, it just appeared to me, just your comments on this before we let you go, and we're really grateful for the time you've given us this morning. One of the things, I do political radio, obviously, and social stuff, and at some point in time, people are going to have to brave up, for lack of a better word, and take some risks to keep society going. People such as yourself, doctors are going to have to go to work, broadcasters are going to have to do the news, people are going to have to put out fires. At some point, people are just going to have to say, well, we need to get out there and live. And I guess it's always been thus with pandemics, but that will worsen things, or is that just an inevitability of fighting a disease like this?
I'm not sure I even have the right answer. I think it would have been incredibly helpful if we had had more access to community surveillance testing, because you would be able to actually assess a risk, and we would have a denominator of how many total cases we have versus how many cases of illness we have. But I think there are lots of really experienced, smart scientists and public health people working on this all over the country 24/7. And as we've seen every day, there's more and more news about the situation. I think probably those guidances will emerge in the next, we hope, couple of weeks.
Well, thank you very much. Doctor, where is your practice if people are interested at all in getting a hold of you?
We're down on K Street, right in the belly of a different crisis in Washington.
Well, we talk about Doctor. Very well said, Dr. Sean Spurney. Thank you very much for your time, and we will call on your good offices again. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
Take care. All righty, we're going to give another quick look at the weather. John Bailey's up next, but first, right now, it's 40 degrees. It feels like 20. For love of Pete, I don't know why, but it was cold this morning. It's going to get up to 48, but we will have some drizzle later tonight into the morning. Rain may be heavy at times, but it'll get down to, in the morning, it'll be heavy at times into the early morning hours tomorrow, but things will dry up, getting up to 67, 39 at night, and on into Saturday, a mix of sun and clouds. Temperatures around 60, or rather 54. The weather's brought to you exclusively by United Hebrew of New Rochelle, voted one of America's best rehabilitation and senior care campuses, and it's right here in New Rochelle. Visit uhgc.com. Again, that's UHGC. No, it's .org, Robert. They changed it to .org. Aging Issues Management supports us in this bottom of the hour. So to the law firm of Payne & Con, Dominic's Fine Cigars, Plug-in Virtual Reality, and our friends at the Beachmont Tavern. Now, we missed John. He's probably wondering, where we are. We're busy, called in. But we are going to talk with John Bailey. He's our man in White Plains in just a few minutes. Also, someone just reached out to us, too, about what they're doing at daycare. And we're going to do our best to get them on while we're on the air today. Maybe get another guest to cheat. But this man on the telephone, you know him. He's with us each and every week. And his name is John Bailey from WhitePlainsCitizen.net. That's his news outlet. He also has 2 TV shows on local cable, most notably White Plains Week. Please welcome John Bailey. Good morning, John.
Good morning from White Plains, New York, USA.
White Plains, New York, USA. How are you people doing with the virus?
Well, apparently, right now we have 3 persons in White Plains having the virus, according to the state, and that the state is now advising towns and communities in Westchester what the infection rate is. You know, how many people have it. This is a new policy brought about by Mayor Roach and I guess some other leaders in the county, saying you've got to tell us. We do not know, what our rate of coronavirus penetration is. So we now know there are 3 persons in White Plains, one of whom a lawyer, which horribly enough was in the county courthouse and infected clients, really exposed his illness to clients, and so they are now being self-quarantined.
Now, are the wheels of justice about to grind to a halt?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, the courts are very busy places, a lot of interaction, and they did a thorough cleaning of the courthouse on the 9th and 10th floors, I believe it was. Actually, this was originally noted by not by Governor Cuomo in his address yesterday afternoon, that this happened in White Plains.
Now, did you see the president's speech last night?
I saw the clip.
And?
Well, a very sober Mr. Trump. He was actually showed he could read a teleprompter.
Well, actually, in the beginning, he looked like a hostage tape, but he got more animated at the end, and certainly I applaud his earnestness about getting away from partisanship for the purposes of this.
Yeah. However, I disagree with limiting with allowing Britain to fly here. You got to be complete with it.
Well, I think there are just so many economic considerations that he just can't throw the entire baby out with the entire bathwater.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's a quarantine, it's a quarantine. If people are allowed to get through, you're at risk. I'm sorry, but I mean, you got to call a spade here.
Okay,
There should not be not aired. I mean, it's just my opinion. So, but that's the way I would do it.
now did you see?
Nobody comes in.
Did you see yesterday's Daily News? The
No.
cover? Did you hear about it? Did you
No.
see what a disgraceful cover? It looked like a photo of Armageddon, fire, haze, and it said New Rochelle, and it had pictures of people in face masks and army troopers, all in a montage, as if we were under some state of military siege here.
Well, one wonders what the Rupert Murdoch organization, which owns the Daily News, is trying to achieve.
No, Rupert owns the Post. He doesn't own the News. The News is a liberal paper. I was very surprised. No, in fact, Rupert, typical of Rupert Murdoch, all they wanted to talk about was their top page was about some dumb thing, some far left.
Okay, well,
person
who
said.
does own the Daily News?
I think not the Times, the Tribune Corporation, one of them. But the point is that it was a real tabloid piece of garbage yesterday.
Well, that's always been the Daily News tradition.
Okay.
They
Now,
sensationalize. Look, we have to realize that news outlets, television stations, all news stations, talk stations, all commercial media are just trying to get ratings.
well,
They're not in
all
business.
of us. Not all of us, my friend. In fact, much to my chagrin, not all of us. All right. Speaking of,
But that's what they are.
what's going on in White Plains?
What's going on in White Plains? Well, we have a great development out of this now pandemic that's supposedly sweeping the world. And that is the mayor is putting out a report each day at 5 o'clock describing the situation in White Plains, listing closings, and basically informing the people on a timely basis. He's been doing this, I think, was since last Friday, and I commend him for it, communicating via email and on the city website. So, I mean, he has really broken tradition here, and he's just stating the facts, which is most unusual.
Is he in person or is he sending out a memo? In other words, has Elvis been seen?
No, the report is just strictly factual. It says
You gotta love White Plains. I gotta be mayor of White Plains, president for life. What else is going on? I can't see your list on the phone. So what else are you reporting on today?
Right. Well, I was thinking that one thing that no one has really mentioned here, with the situation where people have to really be careful where they go, the census is really in trouble. People aren't going to care about sending that back in.
No, and now people are going to have to be willing to knock on doors.
Absolutely, that is not going to. People aren't going to open it. And I think it's something that also should be. I mean, people should fill it out and send it in, but truly, I mean, that is going to be really compromised. I can't. I mean, it's the last thing on my mind, filling out that census form.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. What else?
Exactly. So I think that has to be addressed. Either they suspend it, extend the deadline, or something like that, and but it's not going to be a correct count.
What else?
I guarantee it.
What else is going on?
Well, everybody I see it. It's very empty in White Plains.
Yeah, it is empty, and
The
well, it's
street
certainly.
traffic, the street traffic is just not there. The very few people walking on the streets, and particularly during the mornings. And the other thing is there is a lot of cancellations. We canceled the St. Patrick's Day parade early in the week.
Hmm.
We canceled the library gala, one of the premier um, support events of the year, and they are going. That's going to be put on some time later, and we we have canceled a few of the youth bureau presentations. This being the 50th year of the founding of the youth bureau in White Plains, and lifestyles are changing now. Of course, the intriguing thing is what is going to happen with live performances
Well,
around
there's a
Westchester
question.
County.
Well, not just here, but down on Broadway, they're contemplating maybe shuttering some theaters now. They already will be doing the NCAA. Your buddy, who's over here as he is each and every day, Jake, is upset. He's not going to be able to go see his ball team today because they're going to do the NCAA tournament only on television. Nobody in the stands. A performance.
Right. It's well, that happened with soccer
Yep.
across the pond, and look, I think Major League Baseball has to think about this because nowhere do you get bigger crowds than in Major League Baseball stadiums.
Well, but it is outdoors. They say the lack of the chance of transmission outdoors is less, supposedly. But then again, as you know, this morning they did cancel the parade. What else is news in White Plains? George Latimer's been out and about everywhere. He even had dinner in the belly of the beast in the north end of New Rochelle in the confinement zone 2 nights ago.
Well, yes, he is, but he has been royally upstaged by Governor Cuomo.
As
who
well, he
has-
should be.
Yes.
As
well,
well he should be.
Well, of course he. Look, I'm just pointing out that Cuomo has really taken charge of this crisis like no other governor.
Well, let me ask you a
And
question about that. Do you think? Now, I think he's done a great job, but
of course he has.
I think he's had to deal with, though, as all New Rochellians have, the unintended consequence of calling out the National Guard because it has stirred panic.
Well,
When all they are bodies to
I
deliver
don't
food.
buy it that way.
Well,
I mean, I think the coverage on News 12 has been awful about that. Why ask the question about it?
When you say awful, describe awful.
Well, awful means raising questions about the National Guard coming and why aren't they here and all that. They're not here because they have to be marshaled. He only called them up 2 days ago.
Right. But even
It
if
takes
they were
usually
here,
4 or 5 days to deploy
but
them.
you
I
see,
mean,
John,
you can't criticize something that is obvious.
Well,
that
you
the
know what,
National
John,
Guard
but-
is not on call.
But this goes back to your point, though, about ratings. In other words, the governor wanted bodies. He can mobilize the National Guard. These guys are going to, in effect, be Uber drivers. And that should have been emphasized again and again and again. I'm not I mean, I guess I'm giving the governor slight criticism because I think he's done a great job. But again, you got to be here in New Rochelle. I mean, and take a look at that news headline when you're off the air. It is profound what they, oh my God, the National Guard is coming. They're Uber drivers. God.
Well, but they also are there to just keep an order of some sort.
There's no need for that. We got great police force here. That's my point. But anyway, what else is going on in White Plains? My man, John Bailey, he's our man in White Plains. He's had the WhitePlainsCitizen.net, the news outlet for over 20 years now. Also 2 television shows on cable, one of them being the White Plains Week. What's the other one that I always forget, John?
People to be heard.
People to be heard. Okay,
Yes.
what else is going on?
Well, what else is going on is the aircraft crackdown flights
What
to
do you mean?
Europe are really fixing the whole vacation problem.
What do you mean?
What they are doing is people are not going to be able to go and take their intended vacations if they dare anyway. And I think this really crimps up a lot of people. And also, and it's really startling that usually, I mean, my daughter went to Spain and also was at Cancun in 1 week when she was off, and just hopped on the flight. Can't do that anymore.
No, you can't. You've got to.
And so, therefore, it'll be an interesting thing whether they take a look at flights domestically.
Wow. Anything else, my brother?
Well, the whole problem with this New Rochelle thing is everybody is second guessing. They were saying yesterday on the air, well, the governor has to really talk to us. They put on someone who said, well, everybody, the mayor has to get out of the steps of New Rochelle City Hall and tell people what's going on. Well, he did. And I mean, that's bad putting that person on the tube last night criticizing Bramson did a press conference. He put it up on YouTube on Tuesday and also did a follow-up.
Why were they criticizing Bramson's news conference? He tried to be all-inclusive.
Yes, he did. But, of course, it was early days yet. We don't know how this is going to work. And I think that has to be made clear. I mean, News 12 last night said that, no one is really under quarantine. Now, what does that mean? The Department of Health told me that if you weren't under the quarantine restriction, in other words, possibly at risk of of having the virus but hadn't been tested yet, that you have to stay in your home, and food would be brought to you.
Well, that's what we're going to use the Uber drivers in uniform for. So, again, I just wish that would have been stressed.
They're more professional than Uber drivers. Let's put it that way.
Well, that's.
I think I don't think you should say that about the National Guard.
Oh, I am saying that. No, I'm sorry. I am saying that about the National Guard, and that's not meant to be a detriment to them or knock them, but that is going to be their express purpose. And it just puts such a damper on this community. John, if you were here, you'd understand what I'm saying. I mean, I got people who don't want me to visit them because I work in New Rochelle, for God's sakes, after they saw that in the newspapers. That's what I'm saying.
Well, the problem with it is that I don't know of any other communities that are doing this kind of containment zone, but I think it's a policy that it makes sense.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
But it makes sense, and it should. There is going to be some difficulty with that. I mean, the problem is people aren't going out to eat. People are not going out. They're not going to plays and things because they are worried. They don't want to catch the virus, which apparently is very contagious.
This is
and
true.
You would expect that.
Well, and
anyway.
You would expect it to be. Hey, what do you think of the NBA? Is going to cancel or at least postpone their season? And likely in a few hours, so too will the National Hockey League.
Well, I think it's a good idea. Sports is superfluous.
It is superfluous, but it has an economic meaning. And, we were talking earlier today that these kinds of things, sports, the theater generally are recession-proof and disaster-proof. People still do them. So this is one instance.
They're not plague-proof.
No, that's exactly right. Anything else before we let you go back to finding out what's going on in the great city of White Plains?
Well, not much is happening in White Plains.
Well, that's the problem.
Well, and when things aren't happening, you have meetings canceled. You really wonder whether you're going to have a common council meeting whereby citizens are allowed to attend it. I mean, this is a policy that has to be looked at. Do you want City Hall packed with people? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. Okay.
No, I think that's another thing that's going to happen. But thank goodness we have public television.
And we have us. John Bailey, please keep doing what you're doing. We're going to get a daycare guy on in just a few minutes. John Bailey, everybody, White Plains Citizen. .net, and we need to take a quick break. We're going to follow up on someone who contacted us. Now, which is your daycare center? Hey, which is your daycare center? I want to announce it properly. Okay, well, we'll work it out for tomorrow then. Thank you very much. Okay. If he hits up on 8:20, he's not going to be. He can't be on. You know, it's radio. It's by appointment. Oh well, that went out on the air. You learned a little bit about what happens in real live radio. We tried to get a guest that inquired to be on, but we'd like to open up the telephone now. 914-222-3141. 914-222-3141. For those of you just joining us, it's been a very interesting couple of days for sure. And I want to clarify my point. And we're going to talk with our buddy Jake in just a few moments. I want to clarify my point. By the way, Jake, we have through 20, so which gives us 25 minutes for them to come. Get in the seat of honor, Jake. But I just want to clarify some things for folks. Now, if you think I'm disparaging the National Guard, I am not. One of the most interesting things in life and in all nature is the nature of communication. Insects communicate with posture and pheromones. Animals communicate with posture, growling sounds, and scent. Birds communicate with the way they fly and the chirps they make and posture. Humans communicate by their behavior, but they also communicate with words, and the most deceptive of them are words. Okay, the most deceptive. So when the governor, and with all earnestness, I'm not criticizing his decision per se, but when the governor calls in the National Guard and they show up, he gets kudos for being decisive. Yes, he does. That's number one. Number two, they do a service, and the service that they are going to do for us is maybe clean some buildings, but deliver food. So, that understood, we get all the benefits of these wonderful men and women who the governor can manage, number one. And number two, we get their services, which are to deliver food. So when I say they're Uber drivers, let me tell you what I mean by that. I mean, most of you are going to get it, but some people take all words literally. It's not to disparage them. It's to have you understand that that is the role that they're going, that is the role that they are going to play. Okay. That is the function that they're going to undertake. They're not going to be running around the streets with tanks and guns. This isn't Tiananmen Square. They're not telling people they can't go in and out of the neighborhood. And this needs to be said because in this city, which I love, which is now like a ghost town, we've become ground zero in the whole country for my God, they rolled out the National Guard. Good grief. So I'm going to return to it, and if you don't understand what I just said, there's a text that I keep on my desk at home, which is that I can explain it to you, but I can't make you understand it. And that's how you should look at it. The Uber drivers are here. That's their role. Tanks are not rolling through the streets of New Rochelle. And again, I don't criticize the governor for the decision because he can command these troops. What I'm simply saying is that some of us has a responsibility to call it what it is. Words are inadequate. Words are misused. Actions speak louder than words. And I will begin and end. If you don't know it, go ahead. Go on YouTube right now and look at the front page of the New York Daily News, which is a internationally recognized newspaper. Well, we're going to take a break. We've got one of the two people we need. We're going to talk with our friends at Rock and Robin. We're going to get off the soapbox that is the coronavirus and talk a little bit about business. These folks run a wonderful business in the downtown of New Rochelle, Rock and Raymond. And we're going to talk with one of the partners in just a moment. Alrighty, where did I come up with that one? We have returned, and yes, it's official. The Uber drivers are here. The delivery men, they should put a little sign on top of their tanks or whatever they use, their little green truck saying, like pizzeria snacks. If you look at it that way, don't be intimidated by the uniform or these wonderful people that are here to help you. All righty, I'm Bob Marrone. Jake Schaefer's here. Jake, you should take a seat until the rest of the people arrive. And now we're going to put the camera on our guest. So far, and people run late. And please don't, today they better not use the example of traffic because there ain't no traffic. There's nobody here. You can see two very fine people. Jake, you already know. And the gentleman to Jake's right on your TVs and screens, he is to the left. He is Rudy Southwell, and he is one of the partners at Rock and Raymond, and they're going to be joining our list of supporters here. So let's start out with the very obvious. How's business in this with what's going on?
Slower.
Much slower, huh?
Sincerely slower.
Sincerely slower. Now, are you contemplating adjusting your hours or laying anybody off, or are you just going to try and weather this for as long as you can?
We're going to weather it as long as we can, but if less revenues continue to come in, we're going to have to make adjustments.
Yeah, you will. I mean, even here, we met with a sponsor the other day. And we anticipated X amount, and because of the slowdown in business, we got the Y amount. So
Right.
it's affecting all of us. But at what point of the day are you doing your best business? Are people at least coming in at night for dinner? Have you lost the lunch trade? What have you lost?
Yes, we have a pretty good following. So what I could say overall is every single day part has come down a little every day.
Now, in your kind of business, see, I'm one of those people, and people criticize me for this, but I don't care. Let them. Like, I'll go to a restaurant. Why don't you get something different? Why do you always get that? Because that's what I like.
That's right.
I see in this short life on Earth, I don't experiment unless somebody says this thing is better than having Kate Upton and Riri over for dinner at the same time. I'm not going to try it. Do you find the same way in your business? Do people always order the same thing, or do you have some experiment? What is that like?
I think people normally actually mix it up a little bit.
They do. Well,
without
okay,
meaning,
so
yes.
I'm the exception, and he's looking at me like, Bob, you have 8 heads.
No, you're not the exception, but people usually do because it's so innovative.
Yeah.
Frankly, unless you're a vegetarian and you're not eating any meat, you're usually trying other things at Rock and Ramen.
Well, what's easy about Rock and Ramen, the thing that people know, that people identify with your restaurant are the noodles, the ramen.
Yes.
But yet, I know the first time I went there, and I was joking with your partner 2 weeks ago about this, I ordered a particular soup.
Yes.
It was a meat soup. But what
Yes.
was cool about it, but also scary at first, there was the water and the a couple of green things in there. But there was an animal's leg in there.
Oh, yeah.
It was a big chunk of meat.
Yeah.
We
don't hold back.
Oh, I mean, this was no small thing.
That's right.
I mean, I could have picked it up and eaten it like a chop. Yeah. So, as opposed to being a shredded animal,
Yeah.
and what is that? What is that called in the cooking profession or whatever?
I can say it's been Chef Wayne. Wayne is pretty amazing. My partner.
Yeah,
the chef,
right. Yeah, we got to talk.
He
with him.
just came up with an amazing dishes, and because I got involved in the business over 2 years after it started,
Yeah.
so it was already a phenomenon. It was already happening.
What,
So I kind of walked into the door with all these wonderful things.
what's your favorite dish? Since you're
Oxtail ramen.
who?
Oxtail ramen.
Oh, that's right, the oxtail. So now, I'm going to ask you a dumb question because
Come
I've
on.
never had oxtail, and as you already figured out from the first part of this interview, I'm probably not interested in it. But I used to be the engineer and a producer for a wonderful show. In fact, you may know the guy. His name escapes me right now. He runs a vegan restaurant in the Bronx, and he is he's a man from the islands, from Jamaica. and he used to run a show called The Meeting at the African Village Square. And so one night, he was talking about oxtail. And I didn't know. He said, "Do you realize why a lot of people of color had to eat oxtail in the islands? Because the rich people ate the rest of the animal,
That's right.
and we got the bleeping tail."
That's
you know.
right.
But yet, because of the seasoning and learning how to cook it, it's pretty tasty.
That's right.
Now here it's not. It's 2020 rather. You own a fine restaurant. You're doing well. You've got a noodle shirt on your sweatshirt, but you still get oxtail.
Yes.
Why?
I
It's
guess,
that good.
I guess
You grew up?
it is that
It's
good.
like we Italians eating sausage. The same
It
thing.
is that
Yeah.
good, and some traditions you don't break them.
Yeah.
When food is good, you don't.
But is it good?
It is amazing.
Now, is there? Please don't laugh at me. And Jake wants to laugh at me because it's the mean nature. Is there a bone in the oxtail?
Yes, there's a bone in the oxtail.
Now, if I get oxtail soup or it's oxtail ramen, is there a whole tail? How long is the tail? Is it like a cat's tail? Is it 6 inches long? Is it?
No, that would be weird. So
No. It depends on where you had your restaurant. Some people might like it, but
that's right. So no, it's cut down into chunks, into pieces, and there's a
Okay.
big bone in the middle, and it's surrounded by amazing meats.
now, but oxtail meat.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, so there is meat on the tail.
Yes.
So is it now? Other parts of and it's an actual ox.
Yeah, it's probably cow, but yes.
Oh, but it's called oxtail, so
yes.
it could be a cow.
Yes.
All right. I've never looked at this is why I got to get thrown off the radio. I've never really paid much attention to a cow's butt or tail, but I guess I have to start doing that.
Well, that's fair.
No, because I got friends. I'm going to there was a really nice restaurant that's not there anymore down in on North Avenue.
Yes.
Was a Caribbean place, and and she would go in there and say, "I'm going to get the oxtail," and I go, it's that good, huh?
It is
All right.
with the right spices. It is certainly amazing.
I'm going to have to try it. So is it a beef-like taste?
Yes.
Does it-
Yes. It's beef.
And,
It's beef.
and what else do they put in the? So you got the noodles. What else do you
Yes.
have in there?
So Chef Wayne puts in fresh vegetables. So there's corn, there's scallions, there's ginger and some things.
Oh,
there's-
I like scallions
Oh,
and
yeah.
ginger.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
All right,
Spices it up.
We're going to continue this because I get hungry doing these restaurant segments.
All
And
right.
again, we're talking with Rudy Southwell. He's one of the partners over at Rock and Raymond. You know where they are down on Anderson Street
Yes.
here in New Rochelle. They've been there for a while. Now, you can't go up to where I did, a little Italian kid from Brooklyn, and not love all kinds of noodles. Pasta, flat noodles, round noodles, ones that looks like corkscrews.
Yes.
I could live off it. Similarly, I could live off ramen, which is pretty close to the same thing. After all, I think the Italians got their spaghetti from.
Yes.
What are your key just ramen dishes for vegans that they would like? Like,
All right.
like
So-
for a guy like me who loves pasta, what I come in and what would you order for me?
Okay, so if you're coming in and you're a vegan,
Vegans, I
Vegan,
said
oh.
vegans. Jake, you got to help me out here. If I say something stupid, you got to bail me out, and that means he's a busy guy.
it's all right. So you would have a veggie ramen. And the veggie ramen, it would have like tofu inside of it. No, but I'll tell you, our
Is
tofu is
tofu
special.
is it part of what you make the ramen out of, or is tofu like another chunk of? What does tofu look
chunk.
like? Is it white? Is it brown? What color is tofu?
It can be made any color you like, but it's mostly white.
Okay, it looks like a pencil eraser,
Yes.
right? Okay,
But we put a special batter on it, so it has taste.
okay.
The good thing about tofu, it tastes like whatever you season
Oh, it's
it with.
malleable. I
That's
got
right.
it. Okay.
So people have tofu that tastes like chicken, but it's not really chicken. It's like fake chicken, tofu chicken. So
what kind of seasoning is this?
special seasoning.
Need
Once
to
again, good chef Wayne
Put it on my
seasoning.
lover's foot or something. I don't know.
That's weird too.
So anyway, go ahead.
So we have a veggie ramen, a lot of different assorted
So you got
vegetables
tofu.
inside.
What if I don't want tofu, but I want ramen? What would you season it with?
All right, so
Like a nice bowl of ramen.
Yeah. So you have they have like cabbage. They have
It's good?
Yes, cabbage, cucumbers. They have carrots,
Cucumbers and carrots.
bamboo shoots.
You're not
bok
turning
choy.
me on. What's bok choy?
Okay, so
The bok
answer
choy
for that-
virus. Go ahead.
We don't need any of that, any more viruses. I don't know what bok choy is. That's the good part about our business. I don't know.
What, you're experimenting with our palates? Yeah, look at this. There's something called TNT.
I
Let's
think
throw it
it's-
in there.
I think it's green.
Oh,
That's what I
think
think.
I know what it is. It's little chopped up little things.
All right, it's actually amazing.
I'm one of those. What's that? I should call home. There is a particular spice or sauce that they put in. A lot of Latinos put it in some of their dishes, and Chinese put it in theirs. That I have the genetic thing that I can't eat it. I forget what it's called. It'll come to me in a moment.
What color is it?
It's bitter. It's some sort of a seasoning. It's bitter. It'll come.
Is it a clove? Is it like a seed?
I
You
really
don't
don't
know.
know. Whatever it is, I have a couple of interesting genes. One is I love the smell of skunk, believe it or not.
Sincerely?
Yes, and
Okay.
I have an
That's
aversion to this particular. I think it's the same gene. For everybody else to say it tastes good, and when you put it in like my salad or whatever, I hate it. So I just can't remember what it is. So anyway, all right. So now, what's the most basic ramen dish you sell?
All right. The most basic ramen dish we sell is chicken. Chicken. with
That's
ramen.
perfect for me. We should. Okay, so I come in and what is it called? Ramen with chicken? Is it a chicken holding a couple of with his little claws holding some ramen noodles? What is it?
Minus the holding of the claws.
Yeah.
Just chicken in the ramen.
It's right in the little chunks
Yes.
of chicken.
And you can actually mix it up. There's grilled chicken. You could do like grilled chicken. You could do a barbecue chicken
Okay,
in the
now
ramen.
we're home. Now we're where
Now we're
Bobby
home?
lives. Now we're
Okay,
okay.
okay.
So I'm gonna get my barbecue chicken and ramen.
Yes.
Anything else gonna be in there? Just barbecue. The ramen's gonna be good. Will I have enough ramen to satisfy a
Oh
little
my
Italian
goodness,
boy
yes.
from Brooklyn?
Oh yes. People leave us and go get a nap.
Okay. This is my now. Did they twirl it like? Did they twirl the ramen, or did they just throw it in and it's all over their face like a splat of a mop?
Oh no, they twirl it. They twirl
Okay.
it. And people actually are very it's like ramen connoisseurs. So some people flip, some people
Excuse.
throw it up in the air, some people slurp. It's
Oh,
a big
slurping
thing.
is good. You know, you go and then you hear the snap at the last
Yes,
thing.
yes.
Now, what do you mean throw it up in the air? It's like when a girl flips her hair, a woman in the back.
people experience our ramen. It's really good food.
I know it is. That's
Yes.
what I'm having fun with it because I've been there. I like the food, but I often don't know what I'm eating. So I'm trying to relate what I ate, and I probably ate oxtail and didn't know it
Okay.
because some other people ordered it, and it was a beefy, chunky thing that was in
Yes.
there with the ramen. Now, ramen, as you know, in pasta, you can go to the store tomorrow and you can get spaghetti, you can get spaghettini, you can get any number of different shapes and sizes. Does ramen come in different shapes too? Or is it just one?
You know, that's a good question.
You're looking at me like I have 8 heads.
No, I don't think you have 8 heads.
Yes, you do. It's all right. I wouldn't blame you.
I think ramen could be in different sizes. Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, do you have, you get people, and I used to see this when I traveled in Europe. They go to Europe or they go to Asia, we go to Japan, and then they go in after flying 20 hours, working all day. I want a hamburger. You know, you want to choke them. Do you serve other things or is it only just a ramen?
No, we serve other things. Oh yeah.
Tell me what
We
else you
mix it up.
serve.
Okay, so our menu has ramen bowls. Whatever you get in a ramen bowl, you can get it with rice. If you-
Okay,
if
now
you don't
what's a
want
ramen bowl?
It pretty much is a ramen dish. It's ramen noodles,
Right.
and we call it ramen bowls.
Okay, so
So-
in this, so you get to like, you make your own ramen.
Right. So
Okay.
so you have ramen, so you have the chicken, the regular ramen bowls. Then you have
Mm-hmm.
rice. Whatever you want a ramen with, you can get rice with. So if you get an oxtail with rice, or you can get a chicken with rice.
Now, is there any ramen in there or no? It's just
No.
a bowl.
No,
So
just
it's
a bowl.
okay. I got it. So I
Yeah.
get chicken with rice. I can get ramen with
No.
I can get rice with oxtail.
Yes.
I can get rice with chicken.
Yes.
One thing, do you have boneless chicken?
Yes.
You walked into that. How did it walk? If
Very
it was,
good.
no,
Very good. Very good.
I always
Very
do
good.
that. I always
Little
imagine
bone.
a boneless chicken, on its side.
Happy birthday.
No,
Yeah.
okay, this sounds it. So you have so Jake walks in. Now you got to understand. Now Jake's from Syracuse, New York. Married his own sister. That's where that's how they roll up there.
It's regular over there. Yes.
He likes like a burger and stuff. So he comes in. He says, "I just want a hamburger and fries." You
Yes.
make fries?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so you can keep him happy.
Yeah. So in the summer we serve fries, and we also have a ramen burger. Starting in
Excuse me?
Yeah,
Oh, well, but
so-
it's beef.
yes.
Is
yes.
it oxtail beef or beef?
Beef.
Okay.
A regular burger patty with good seasoning, Chef Wayne seasoning.
I'm just thinking, you should make. This would be good. I need wire here. Yeah, there we go. You should have like an oxtail sandwich. You know, and it looks like this. You know, we have everything sticking out the side. The only thing I don't want it screaming when I bite it. It's okay.
But funny enough, we have an oxtail bun, and that's actually how it looks, except a lot more appetizing.
Wait a minute. No, go back to this, Jake.
Oh, okay.
You got to help me out here. An oxtail bun.
Okay, so we
Describe it.
All right, so picture like a slice of bread,
Yeah.
right? But it's not actually bread. It's like a bun, and inside of it is a piece of meat with other
This is
there
the
you go.
bun?
Yes.
Here's the meat. My
Yes.
exacto knife. Now, what kind of meat is
so
in there?
amazing. So in that bun, you could have chicken in that bun,
Yeah.
oxtail in that bun, shrimp in that bun, or pork in that bun.
So Raymond is the brand. Oh, then you have pork. You have like pulled pork.
no, we don't have pulled pork.
What kind of pork's going to be sitting in there?
It's a cut of
Well, whatever. Yeah.
whatever it is. It's a good piece of pork.
A chunk of a pig.
Yes, a chunk of a pig.
Oink, oink.
And it's the
You
best.
must have a lot of animals in the back.
Yes.
No, I'm
No, we do not have
You're not
animals
making
in the back. No.
I can't help myself. Go ahead. So this is pork. Now, how am I going to season? This could be good. What else is on those two pieces of bread on this ramen? It's called a ramen burger, though. It's okay.
So
Or is it ramen sandwich?
the burger is different than the bun. So on the bun, they put different. You really have to just come taste it. The
Well, I'm
bun is
gonna have
actually one of our best sellers.
Okay,
The
and
bun's one of our best sellers.
What's your biggest seller
Appetizers.
of the bun?
I'd have to say the oxtail bun.
Okay, no, but that's it. All right. So
Yes,
this is the
the
oxtail's
signature
got it.
dishes,
So now,
oxtail buns.
okay, but if I came in and got an oxtail bun
Yes.
or a burger or beef bun,
Yeah.
what's likely to be on there with the bun? Because I love buns. Who doesn't love buns?
So the buns. So I have to leave that to Chef Wayne and the chefs. I just eat them. I just go
You
and
know,
eat them.
you know
I don't
what
cook
I've
anything.
noticed? Whenever I mention some of these dishes, and I want to remind you, this is so good, folks. When the guy that owns the joint loves the food, and he clearly does, his name is Rudy Southwell. He's a partner in Rock and Raymond, right down on Anderson Street here in New Rochelle. Your face lights up when you talk about some of these dishes.
You know why? Because all I do when I go there is eat.
That's a good business to be in.
Yes, because Wayne and I, as partners, we do different
Thank
parts
God
of
he
the business.
doesn't own a strip club. God, I mean, you know, you can't sample the product all the time.
I probably couldn't do that.
No,
yeah.
I think there's something wrong with me. I must have the virus. But as we pass through 717, but you love the food at your own place. But that
Yes.
recommends it. Oh, geez, here he comes. Look, where did he get this shirt from? Jake, make room for him. We'll go a little late. It's late.
That's my boy.
Have you been listening at all?
No.
He eats the food that you
purpose.
make. Look at this. You're not supposed to hug like that during the virus thing.
Yeah, come on, football.
Just give me a fist. This guy's got muscles coming out of his
We need
ears,
soup.
for
We'll
God's
be
sake.
fine.
That's right.
I'll eat a soup.
Yeah. Ramen keeps the coronavirus away.
Hello, chef.
How you doing?
You get on the. You got your sleeves rolled up. You look like you're going to the Worldwide Wrestling Federation
Yeah, I
today.
can't let anyone
Probably
see
is.
me scared. You
By
know?
the way, you know, you got to worry about him because he admitted to just showing up to work and eating all the food.
That's exactly what
And
it
I'm
was.
over here, I'm saying to myself, thank God he doesn't own a strip club. You know, it'd be like, no, it'd be like in The Godfather when the guy that owns the hotel says he was fooling around with cocktail waitresses 2 at a time. They couldn't get
There
a
you
drink at
go.
the bar. That would be. He is in love with oxtail.
Yes.
See, I'm different. I'm in love with the buns. I understand you have
An oxtail bun.
a Raymond bun. Well, he loves the oxtail bun.
Yes.
He likes tail.
Yes.
You got to get a little closer to the mic.
You got it.
So
yeah.
we've talked about the dishes, but I am concerned for you guys.
Yes.
And by the way, when you come in, you're wonderful guests, and we appreciate it. And now we've got
you.
both
Thank you.
partners
Thank you.
here. And now what do you want me to call him, Chef what?
Chef Wayne.
Just call him Chef Wayne and not use your whole name
I
anymore.
love it. Yes.
It's
Thank
Chef Wayne.
Yes, sir.
And he's got arms like a gorilla on steroids. And I'm going to fight him in the parking lot after this interview because my blood will cure the virus.
Yes.
It's good to see you again.
You too. It's a pleasure.
Now, how are you guys dealing? Your partner here, who graciously sat in for you while you were stuck in traffic.
Thank you.
There's no cars left on the streets.
That's what
It's
we
like
do, baby.
someone's watching his back and eating his food.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
things are slowing down here in town. People are
Yes.
worried about the virus. It's got to be affecting you and your bottom line at some point.
We've since the coronavirus started, I will say we have felt somewhat of an effect from it, but overall not as bad as what we anticipated.
Okay. Because you have regulars.
Regulars, we have seen a tremendous uptick in new guests as well.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, tremendous.
They like tail as well.
Hey now.
Oxtail. Let me just be
Yes,
clear on this.
Everyone loves the oxtail. One of the things that I've been doing to help with this whole process, every day, every morning, I get on Instagram. I do a live video, talking to the
They're
town.
on video now. There he is, folks.
Hey, how's everyone doing?
My light broke. Or I put more light on you, but
Oh, it's okay. I'm picking up good.
oh God! All right, go ahead.
So
This is some crew, folks.
So let me tell you, it's something I want people to know is that we cannot let this scare us.
That's what I've been working all day on that.
Yeah, we
In
can't.
fact, people thought I insulted the National Guard when I said, "Hey, they're only here to be Uber drivers."
That at the end of the day,
That's really what they're here to deliver
well,
food.
You know what? And I want people to understand that we can't let the Daily News. I could not believe what they put in there. At the
I
end of the
am
day,
brokenhearted over what they did.
we're all one. We're all one right
Real
now.
strong.
You're
That's
enough
right.
for about 7, not just one.
But we have to understand that right now, the National Guard, they're here for a reason.
Yeah, and
Our schools are closed
right.
for a reason.
And they're going to bring food.
And that's right. And at that same time, we as shop owners and people who are in this community, helping the community, we have to stay strong. So the person who put that together, the new Row Strong on the cover of the Daily News, absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that
And-
was
and-
today,
and we're-
though,
yeah,
because I think they had to respond to what they did yesterday.
Well, let me tell you, it was something that I was all over yesterday.
We all are.
And I can let the people of New Rochelle and our surrounding towns know that we are going to be here. We're going to be here for them. We're not closing our doors.
It's the same
Rock
way
and
us here.
Ramen is not going anywhere. We're here to help in any way possible. And big ups to you, because this is such a great platform for us to be able to talk. You're giving us the ability to be able to get our voices out there, to be heard.
And also learn about food, that your partner's eating your profits up. He can't wait to get back to work.
You know what?
For the wrong reasons.
If it keeps his energy and that creative mind going, I'm going to feed.
Oh,
this
so
man
he is
until
the
bursts.
creative guy? Because right now I just see him in the corner with a little Met hat on,
Hey, you know what?
with Robin all over his face.
So you know what? The brains of the operation is always the one sitting in the corner.
Well,
looking
that's
like
true.
He's got
Somebody-
problems and issues.
Now, can I ask you a question? I'm a little concerned about this. I'm looking at the bowls, and I know I heard about Robin bowls, so we don't
Yes.
have to go through this. I heard about Robin burgers, but they're actually buns
April
with different
1st,
meats.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And different things like that. I see chopsticks on your shirts.
Yes.
How do you eat noodles with chopsticks without them flinging all over the place?
Okay, you know what?
Very carefully.
Very carefully is right. But then, like in the Italian families,
No,
you got the
you're
big
talking
spoon,
to me. I
you
don't
got the
need.
big
No,
spoon
no,
and
no, no.
fork,
Excuse me.
and you get that
Okay,
spaghetti twisted up in there.
I can tell if a guy's a real Italian.
Yeah.
When I'm in a restaurant, real Italian don't need no spoon.
That's right.
You can swirl one-handed, two. Now, where Jake comes from up in Syracuse, where they're all married to each other and their babies have 8 heads, they may use a spoon.
Uh-huh.
It's or like they'll come down to New York and they'll order a slice of pizza and they'll get a knife and fork,
Right.
which should therefore be delivered in their eye. But so.
Well, you know what? In
But
ramen,
no. Your partner says that there are ramen aficionados.
that's right. Absolutely. Very good.
What are they?
I learned.
Hey,
you learned. You're doing great.
Now, what do they do?
Absolutely
Do they make designs with the noodles?
Well, you know what? A true ramen aficionado.
Got to help me out here, Jake. These
They-
guys are nuts.
They don't use a spoon. There's no spoon
That's what I
involved.
want to hear.
Okay, but the chopsticks, it's an integral part of the bowl of ramen. You have to get the glistening noodles.
Okay, here's what you're going to do the next time you come in.
Yes.
And we're going to have some fun with this.
Go ahead.
bring me no oxtail this time.
Right.
If I'm going to buy the tail, it ain't going to be an ox.
You want my shrimp scampi ramen?
No, all I want is the ramen and a pair of chopsticks. And see how I manage that.
I love
It'll
it.
make great radio. I mean, this studio would be
think
You think they're cleaning the schools? You think they're cleaning the schools right now?
That's right. Come on.
The place, it'll be all over the computers and the radio board. It'll be on Jake's glasses.
It'll be your wig. I guarantee you'll have
I still
ramen
have
coming
hair.
down off of your hair.
I still have hair. Not all of us in this room do.
Hey, Dad.
But
no pun intended. No pun intended.
But it's already white. I got that taken care
Oh,
of.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
I started turning gray when I was 26 last week. Can you believe
Oh,
it?
my God.
So now we talked about a lot of ramen dishes, and we still have some time because it's so much fun. And again, we're accomplishing two things here. We're sharing with people how you're dealing with what's going on now. We're
Right.
sharing with people what your business does, a local business, and also having a lot of fun doing it. And it always is. And I should remind people, Chef Wayne is here with his overeating partner, Rudy Southwell. In fact, they have to open up the front door because if Rudy keeps eating the way he's eating, he's going to be, you won't even have to, like send him home in quarantine. He won't be able to get out of the place.
We always
He's stuck in the front door.
We always talked about not talking about our margins, but that's the only reason he gets to eat the way he does.
Oh, because your profit margins are decent. Oh.
The profit margins are okay.
Okay, well, you gotta
They're
be.
okay. They're okay. He takes a less percentage and eats more food. It's a beautiful thing.
I don't know if you guys are either of you fans of the Honeymooners, Ralph Cramden. When
You're close. You're
when,
very close.
Well, no, when Alice says to Ralph says he's trying to help his friend out, right? His friend has been sleepwalking, and his wife is to get up with him every night. I haven't slept in 3 days. I haven't eaten. So she says she comes down to Alice and Ralph's house and says, I need help. I can't do it anymore. She says, Ralph, you'll have to walk around with Norton and help him in the middle of the night. So Ralph says, aren't you worried about me? Aren't you worried if I don't sleep for a few days that I won't eat? Imagine if I don't eat. Do you know what I'll look like? And she says, yeah, human being.
Oh, and I love the honey.
Well, the best one, he says, he's complaining about money, and he says, Alice, look, let's go to your drawer. Look at this. Look at all the stuff you have. Look at my drawer. All I have is one pair of pants. And she says, one pair of pants is all that'll fit in that drawer. So anyway.
Well, let me tell you, we...
So what specials do you have? I mean, you guys do everything with oxtails.
Here we go. We have, and this is a great platform to go ahead and let your million of listeners know.
Yes.
For St. Patty's Day, we do every year our corned beef and cabbage ramen.
You actually have corned beef and cabbage ramen?
Yes, we do.
So you have the corned beef and cabbage in one of these bowls with the noodles.
Absolutely.
Boy, what a mess I'd make with that.
Oh
my
yeah.
God.
And it's absolutely amazing. And then April Fool's Day, April 1st, we relaunch our ramen burger. So
No,
that's
you
right.
said ramen burger. Now, the way it
Yes.
was explained to me by the Grand High Exalted Mystic Eater himself,
Yes.
that the ramen burger could be many things, from oxtail to chicken to pork. But are you talking about a burger where it's the chopped meat?
The actual chopped meat.
Okay, what's on the ramen burger?
On the ramen burger, you're going to have the bun. The bun itself is ramen noodle.
I love buns.
Okay? Oh, you'll love these buns.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
I don't like the way you said that to me.
Don't
Go ahead.
Get you in any trouble, but
I just don't like the way you said that.
people love my buns. I'm sorry.
Folks.
You know?
Wait a minute.
We'll be right back.
Give me my Lysol now.
Here we go.
Back off.
Yeah, hold on.
Back
hold on.
off.
Here we go. Come on, let's go.
Oh, God.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, so the ramen burger, you've got the bun is ramen noodles with either...
Did you
a
say
reg-
buttered ramen?
Oh, no. The bun is ramen noodles.
The bun is made of noodles?
Yes.
Now, is it ground up and baked into like the batter, or is it actually
No.
like a weave?
It's a weave. We have actually someone from a weave, going country that just sits there and
Did he
sews.
think of this?
Huh? Unfortunately,
Get him outta here.
He's money.
It's all Chef Wayne. It's all Chef Wayne. He's amazing.
He's money. He's this is the reason I'm sitting here talking.
Oh,
to you.
he's money. Then
He's
leave him
money.
here.
Yeah, exactly.
Here, can you eat newspapers or news copy? I can't afford
He
to
has an
feed
ankle
him.
collar on.
You got to keep him. You got to keep him. I can't afford to feed him.
Well, let me tell you, one of the stipulations of us being partners is that you would wear an ankle bracelet. So if he gets too far out of my distance,
No, I gotta
everything
worry.
starts beeping.
He'll be next door at the snack bar all day long. Go ahead.
So you have your choice of either a turkey burger,
Uh-huh.
a hamburger,
Good.
or we do a veggie burger. On that veggie burger, instead of doing raw onions,
He's
we
going
do
to
fried
the tofu
scallions.
again. Tofu.
Hey,
That look like I feel like I'm eating a pencil eraser.
you know
when
what?
somebody-
Don't worry. When you come in or I bring you the burger, no tofu in sight.
Okay. What I want,
Yes.
in addition to my bowl of noodles to eat on the air, on
Yes.
TV with chopsticks, and I will finish the whole thing.
Really?
Yeah. Because I want to. Well, if there's
You
anything
hear
left
that,
in
everyone?
the
He
studio,
said he's going to finish
the
this.
windows. But I want a nice beef burger.
Yes.
Okay, well done.
Like
Do you have
cheese?
sautéed onions
Oh, yes, absolutely.
with olive oil instead of butter? Because I can't eat butter.
You got it. Olive oil.
I want
all
one of
day
them, a
for you.
little bit of ketchup, and then I want to go to hell with myself. Except now, when I bite into the aforementioned Robin
Yes,
bun,
yes.
Robin's bun,
Ramen.
Robin meat. No,
Not Robin.
no. When I don't. Well, I eat chicken and turkey. Why not a Robin? Okay. Is it going to fall apart?
Not at all. Not at all.
It's going to be.
It can, yeah, we can make sure it's congealed.
Okay,
enough
so this
that
is
way
April
it's
1st. Okay.
April 1st.
So
And it's a huge hit.
okay, so
among
so
everyone.
March the 17th on
March
St. Patty's
17th,
Day, I'm
St.
going to
Patty's
have.
Day, oxtail, my corned beef and cabbage ramen.
Okay, and you can throw and you can stir it with an oxtail.
Oh,
How,
yeah.
by the way, we
Yes.
weren't sure because you chop it up. How long is an oxtail?
Roughly 3 to 4 feet long.
What?
Yeah.
3 to 4 feet long?
Well, you're talking about a steer.
Well, you know what you should do? You should
1,000
twirl it
pound
up like
steer.
they do Italian sausage, put a skewer in there and throw that on the grill.
Hey, you know, you may have just
Can
given
I
me
ask-
a new special.
Can I ask a dumb question?
Yeah.
Because I've never stared at a steer's butt.
Yeah,
Is there hair on it?
not at all. No.
So it's like a rat
Let me
tail,
tell you,
like
they
a giant rat tail.
like a tremendous, but it's nowhere near the same flavor. And I couldn't tell you what a rat tail tastes like
No,
anyway.
I'm just saying.
but I sure make it taste really damn good.
All right, so we covered that. Now, you guys did great to come in because we could have fun. And we've already talked about the staples. You guys have been there a few years, and you have a very loyal following. People keep going in and ordering different things.
Absolutely. You know, at the end of the day, you know, any business, as far as I'm concerned, it's based on customer service. You know, and our food can be okay, but if our customer service is above reproach, we're gonna gain a loyal
you've talked
following.
about that.
Yeah.
And geez, I sure hope that during this crisis with the virus that you guys are hanging on and
Yeah.
do what you have to do to stay afloat.
We are. You know what? We're a clean restaurant as it is, but we've gone above and beyond. You know, we're following the CDC mandates and rules about making sure menus. You can guarantee when you walk into Rockin' Ramen, your menu is going to be so damn clean.
Wow.
That's right.
I'm going to be eating
After
oxtail
every
right
use-
off the counter.
That's right. Hey, our restaurant's that clean that you can do that.
I probably
You
can. You
know?
know what we have to do to keep you in business? We'll send
Yes.
Jake's wife eats like Pac-Man. We'll have to get her over there.
We'll take
and-
them on. We'll take them. We love Pac-Man and
Oh, you
women.
kidding?
Yes. You
This
know.
woman can clear the table like a hurdler. It'd be all gone. She'll be.
And you know,
I like picking on his whole family. They're gonna kill me.
There's
He's got a
something I do
wonderful
wanna bring
family.
up is
yes,
that we
his
have-
sister,
we-
his wife, same person.
Come on, bring it. Let's go. Let's go. Wow. What the abuse?
No,
Oh my God.
you didn't know he's his own cousin.
Hey, Jake, nice to meet you. So, you know, it's unfortunate, but we've had some businesses open
I know.
during this crisis.
Yeah.
You know, an amazing company that I want to give a big shout out to
Please
because
do.
they're really, it's called Feel It. They're a new smoothie place right
Excuse
down
me?
on smoothie.
Oh,
It's
Feel
called
It? What did they call
I know. It's an amazing, let me tell you, I'm hooked.
You know,
I'm
you're
hooked.
worse than I am. There's this show on NPR called All of It. And I
Yes.
want to do a podcast called Full of It. I mean, you know, so it's Touch It? What's the
It's
name
called
of it?
Feel It.
What the hell's the
Feel It.
difference, Touch It?
Uh-oh, I guess we got a call on that one.
No, feel me. No, this is a guess. Feel me, touch me. They should use that. They should buy that rights to that.
Well, let me
music.
tell you,
Now,
know,
why do they call it Feel It?
Feel
I've been
the
saying that for
energy.
years. I always get no's.
Well, they do smoothie energy drinks.
Got it.
So it's a whole. Feel
Oh,
it
you
thing.
feel
Yeah.
you feel like feel the
You-
burn.
Oh, you do. Yes, yes. You
Where are they
definitely.
opening up? Next door to you?
They
On
are.
Anderson?
They're located on North Avenue, in the old mall where Mangoville used to be.
Oh,
and
that's the one that I couldn't think of them before. Yeah, Mangoville.
Yeah. Mangoville used to be in that little shopping mall. Oh, South. What is it?
Well,
South,
tell them to come in.
South-
I'll
South
have a
Plaza?
ball with them.
Oh my gosh,
If they got a
are-
place called Feel It.
They are an amazing group of individuals. Anthony and his crew.
See, you just
they're
can't put
amazing.
this in my brain. You know, I just want to do a radio so-called Feel This. You know?
Well, you know, I hope everyone listening just hears how New Rochelle. We're not running or hiding.
I'm
from
not
this
moribund. No, I
entire
can't be.
thing.
I-
This is
sure.
you know, it's individuals like us.
In fact, I'm
that-
going to fight Wayne and the Chef Wayne in the parking lot.
Yes, in
That'd
about
be
in
good-
about
that'd
10
be good-
minutes,
that'd
it's
be
on.
good.
No.
It's-
In about 100 years from now, I got to go to my
TV.
guest soon. So
Yeah.
before I let you
Sign a
guys
waiver.
go, first of
Yes.
all, what a fun 20 minutes. This has been great.
Thank you, thank
If
you.
you would, maybe even a little longer we've been on
Yes.
because you guys have been so much fun. I kind of push things back.
Yes.
Tell us what your hours are. Name a couple of things on the menu.
Sure.
And that you're open.
Okay, so
The name,
everyone.
don't forget the name of the restaurant.
Yeah, so Rockin' Ramen, 19 Anderson Street, New Rochelle, New York. And, you know, some of our most favorite and exciting dishes, our oxtail ramen, of course, is our number one bestseller. It's our fan favorite. Our jerk chicken ramen, curry chicken ramen, spicy boneyard rib tip ramen. For those of you,
Spicy what?
boneyard rib tip ramen. I know you could go a million
That
places
sounds
with
sensuous.
that. Here. To give you guys go a step further, what that is, I take my spare ribs, I cut them up, I boil them down in a honey Jack Daniels, Sapporo beer, Coca-Cola. After it boils down and falls off the bone, I then toss it in a spicy Thai chili, and I put
Wow.
that into my tonkatsu broth.
To who?
That's right. Yeah, thank you.
Takatsu broth.
Yes.
That's a nice dish.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
oh,
what-
it's amazing. And then we have, of course, our amazing appetizers. For those of you that aren't really into ramen, I do, as you know, a fusion of ramen. That's my oxtail, jerk chicken, curry
do
chicken.
nuclear fusion now over there.
And if you don't want the ramen, I could do any one of those as a rice bowl.
You know, with the jerk chicken, I know is jerk sauce. I always think of a stupid chicken. You know, a jerk chicken.
It is a stupid chicken in about 1,000
like
pieces.
the. You know, you've given me a good name to use for the New York State Comptroller who won't help Mount Vernon. The jerk chicken.
Jerk chicken.
Hey, listen, thank you very much, guys.
No, thank
Hours
you.
of the restaurant.
Hours of the restaurant, Monday through Thursday, we are 12 to 10. Friday and Saturday, 12 to 11. And on Sundays, 1 to 10.
And 18.
And we are open during this entire little thing we have
with a
going on
fresh
here in New
glass
Rochelle.
of coronavirus.
No, disregard that last remark. We're very far from the coronavirus. Be away with you. Be away.
And their new achu dish.
Yes. Come have our tonkatsu. Excuse me.
Thank you very much. for
Thank you.
coming.